Well, the last video didn't get that many views, so I'm gonna have to just title it different because I just put it as like the album, bringing it all back home or whatever. So maybe I'll just have to title it by the song names. Who knows? You would think that this amazing album would get more views. Maybe it's just my dumbass. I don't know. Hi guys, welcome to Leave Reacts. Hope everyone's having a good day. I know I am. We are back with, yes, Mr. Bob Dylan. We're going to be finishing up the electric side of bringing it all back home. And then we're going to do the acoustic side all in one go because it's 4 songs. I can do 4 songs because I think 5 is the cutoff, and then they block the video for a month. So tonight is going to be Outlaw Blues, On the Road Again, and Bob Dylan's 115th Dream. That one's going to be fun, I'm guessing. And then, which is, I wanted to do Mr. Tambourine Man, but it doesn't make sense. I should just do the whole acoustic side on its own, you know? So, yeah, we'll do Tambourine Man, Gates of Eden, It's Alright Mom, Only Bleeding, and It's All Over Now, Baby Blue next week. And this is courtesy of our alpha patron, Joel S. This is his album pick of the month. We were going to do the Eagles, but we already know how that's going to end. So, we decided to leave Glenn alone. Alright, here we go. I'll link part 1 up there if you want to go watch the first 4 songs. And yeah, let's do it. If y'all are not subscribed, help a brother out. Hit that button right down there. I'd really appreciate it. Really helps channel out. And it really helps out if you leave a like and a comment. And maybe join Patreon. That helps a little bit too. Because, yeah, they're on my ass, bro. Or the fraudster's on my ass, apparently. Alright, here we go. Outlaw Blues by Bob Dylan. 3, 2, 1, go.
Like a Jesse J. And I wish I was on some Australian mountain range.
This one's real bluesy.
I wish I was on some Australian mountain range. I got no reason to be there, but I imagine it would be some kind of change. I got my dark sunglasses, I got for good luck my black tooth. I got my dark sunglasses, I'm carrying my good luck, my black tooth. Don't ask me nothing about nothing, I just might tell you the truth.
I really like his voice here. Like, more than usual.
I got a woman in Jackson, oh, I ain't gonna say her name. I got a woman in Jackson, I ain't gonna say her name. She's a brown-skinned woman, but I love her just the same.
That was awesome. That was one of my favorite ones so far.
monkey, I get a face full of claws. I ask that who's in the fireplace, and you tell me Santa Claus. The milkman comes in, he's wearing a derby hat. And you ask why I don't live here. Hi, how come you have to ask me that? Well, I ask for something to eat. I'm hungry as a hog, so I get brown rice, seaweed, and a dirty hot dog. I got a hole where my stomach disappeared. Then you ask why I don't live here. I gotta think you're really weird. Your grandpa's cane, it turns into a sword. Your grandma praised the pictures that I pasted on a board. Everything inside my pockets, your uncle steals. And you ask why I don't live here. I can't believe it, you're for real. Well, there's fist fights in the kitchen. There's enough to make me cry. Then a mailman comes in, even he's got to take a side. Even the butler, he's got something to prove. When you ask why I don't live here, honey, how come you don't move?
That one was awesome too. Good God. He really went all out for this one.
I was riding on the Mayflower when I thought I spied some land.
Start again.
That's great.
Wait a minute now, man. Okay, take two.
I was riding on the Mayflower.
I never heard him
thought I
talk
spied some land. I
That was
yelled for
interesting.
Captain E-Reb, I have you understand. Who came running to the deck, said, boys, forget the whale. We're going over yonder, cut the engines, change the sails. Haul on the bowline, we sang that melody like all tough sailors do when they're far away at sea.
That's a sick rhythm.
I think I'll call it America, I said as we hit land. I took a deep breath, I fell down, I could not stand. Captain Arab, he started writing up some deeds. He said, let's set up a fort and start buying a place with beads. Just then this cop comes down the street, crazy as a loon. He throws us all in jail for carrying harpoons. Ah, me, I busted out, don't even ask me how. I went to get some help, I walked by Guernsey Cow, who directed me down to the Bowery slums, where people carried signs around saying ban the bums. I jumped right into line saying I hope that I'm not late, when I realized I hadn't eaten for 5 days straight.
A long time. I gotta find it.
I went into a restaurant looking for the cook. I told him I was the editor of a famous
Bobby
etiquette
Craig.
book. The waitress,
Killing
he
it.
was handsome, he wore a powder blue cape. I ordered some Suzette, I said, could you please make that crepe? Just then the whole kitchen exploded from boiling fat. Food was flying everywhere, I left without my hat. Now, I didn't mean to be nosy, but I went into a bank to get some bail for Arab and all the boys back in the tank. They asked me for some collateral and I pulled down my pants. They threw me in the alley when up comes this girl from France who invited me to her house. I went, but she had a friend who knocked me out and robbed my boots, and I was on the street again. said, could you help me out? I got some friends down the way. The man says, get out of here, I'll tear you limb from limb. I said, you know they refused Jesus too. He said, you're not him. Get out of here before I break your bones, I ain't your pop. I decided to have him arrested and I went looking for a cop. I ran right outside, I hopped inside a cab. I went out the other door. This Englishman said fab as he saw me leap a hot dog stand in a chariot that stood parked across from a building advertising brotherhood. I ran right through the front door like a hobo sailor does, but it was just a funeral parlor and a man asked me who I was.
This is a hell of a dream, huh?
I repeated that my friends were all in jail with a sigh. He gave me his card. He said, call me if they die. I shook his hand and said goodbye. Ran out to the street when a bowling ball came down the road and knocked me off my feet. A payphone was ringing. It just about blew my mind. When I picked it up and said hello, this foot came through the line. Well, by this time I was fed up at trying to make a stab at bringing back any help for my friends and Captain Arab. I decided to flip a coin like either heads or tails. But let me know if I should go back to ship or back to jail. So I hopped my sailor suit and I got a coin to flip. It came up tails and round my sail, so I made it back to the ship. Wow,
the instrumental has been so tight.
The parking ticket off the mast. I was ripping it to shreds when this Coast Guard boat went past. They asked me my name, and I said Captain Kidd. They believed me, but they wanted to know what exactly that I did. I said, for the Pope of Ebrook, I was employed. They let me go right away. They were very paranoid. Well, the last I heard of Arab, he was stuck on a whale that was married to the deputy sheriff of the jail. But the funniest thing was when I was leaving the bay, I saw 3 ships sailing, they were all heading my way. I asked the captain what his name was and how come he didn't drive a truck. He said his name was Columbus. I just said good luck.
Started off with the Mayflower, but that wasn't Columbus. Wasn't that the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria? Was that Columbus? 1492. Man, what a hell of a that was a hell of a dream, dude. Only Bob, right? Only Bob. But that instrumental, dude, that was so tight. Bobby Gregg, oh my god, he was in that shit. That rhythm was sick, dude. Oh man. Alright, so for this album, Bob Dylan on guitar, harmonica, keyboards, vocals, Steve Boone on bass guitar, Al Gagorny on guitar, Bobby Gregg on drums, Paul Griffin on piano and keyboards, John P. Hammond on guitar, Bruce Langhorne on guitar, not that one, Joseph Macho Jr. on bass, Frank Owens on piano, Kenny Rankin on guitar. We know Kenny Rankin, don't we? Yeah. What did we do from him? Maybe it was something with Bob. I don't know. Alright, so for the songs, it said... Alright, Outlaw Blues is an electric blues song that typically follows a fugitive traveling through harsh conditions. But he resents the life of being on the run. Well, I could feel that. Honestly, those first 2 tracks, yeah, Outlaw Blues and On the Road Again, they were pretty, even for him, they were really bluesy, you know? And I know that, you know, Bob Dylan really incorporates a lot of different things into his music. But those two especially felt real bluesy, and I really dug it. And honestly, sometimes his voice, isn't my favorite thing. It's not like I dislike it. I think it's actually pretty good, but sometimes it's not my favorite thing out of all the stuff in the song. But in that song, I believe it was Outlaw Blues or On the Road Again, either one of those two. Man, his voice sounded so good, and it fit the blues sounds perfectly of that track. Yeah, it was the first one. That was a just really tasty blues track, and it was just gone so quick. The last track was really long, with the first two were just really quick. But this is also the end of the electric side too. So what a way to end it too, man. That Dream song, that's epic, man. Because not only, because what was it, 60? This was 65, right? Yeah, March 1965. There wasn't much that sounded like this, I'm guessing, right? We've listened to a lot of stuff. I know there's a lot of bands that were, starting off doing their thing back then, around 65, but at the same time, in this fashion, with this amount of like rebellion to it, and just the straight, I don't know, man, the pure musicianship and class that this dude has, just in the writing department alone. But then you throw in all these great musicians that are with him as well, man, and they just create this this fantastic, whatever you want to call this, album side, story, chapter. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot to it. Like, it started off with what, Subterranean Home Blues? What was it called? Oh yeah, Subterranean Homesick Blues, She Belongs to Me, Maggie's Farm. Oh man, that was both of those songs. I still think She Belongs to Me is my favorite song on the side so far. On the whole side, and then I'd go with the 115th Dream as the second one. Man, that's hard for the third one. It would be one of the two we just listened to, or Maggie's Farm. Man. See, that's why it's so hard to rank stuff, because it's all so good, bro. Y'all don't send me no BS. It's always good music. So it's like, there's never, I can't say never. Sometimes there's a weak track, but for the most part, there never is. And yeah, these three here, nope, not a single weak track. This whole album side, there wasn't a weak track. And She Belongs to Me is now one of my new favorite, trending songs in my head. Like, out of all the songs we've done in the past month, I'd say, definitely one of my favorites. That was a side of Bob that I hadn't really heard yet. We haven't like really dived into his catalog yet. I've heard bits and pieces, and that's all thanks to Joel usually. So thank you, Joel. But he's got a fascinating mind, because he had such an interesting upbringing, and he just writes about the bottom so well. I talked about that with Steely Dan on Sunday. They really write, Donald writes really well about the bottom and, the grimy sides of life and stuff like that. He does too, especially from like a 60s, mid 60s kind of view too. He was like the counterculture, like himself, basically. That's who he was. And he started off a lot of it, it feels like. He was a real rebel back then. He really pushed boundaries. He pushed people's buttons back then, especially when he switched from folk to electric and, started doing his thing, man. Everyone was like, yo, what is this, bro? And nowadays, I mean, even back then, people loved it probably, but nowadays people look back and see it as like what this monumental thing that happened. But it was probably back then, to you guys who were there, it was just something that happened, It was like, oh, wow, listen to this album. This is crazy. Listen to what Bob did, But now we look back and like, oh, he went acoustic to electric. Oh, my God, But I know it was a big deal back then, too. But we probably have like mythologized. Is that a word? Oh, if it's not, I just made one. It's it's mythologized now, And it's what a fantastic thing he did here. And that's really smart, to have an electric side and an acoustic side to, appease the old fans and try and gain new ones at the same time. I think that's really smart. And he's so talented, he can do whatever the fuck he wants anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's Bob Dylan, man. He's gonna do what he wants. And man, I cannot wait to hear Mr. Tambourine Man next week. That is still my favorite song by him. The live from, I think, the Newport Festival, whatever one we did. That one, still my favorite Dylan song, performance, whatever you want to call it, man. That was a near perfect song, and that's really hard. That's nearly impossible, literally. But that was an almost perfect song right there, and that's probably as close as I've seen, Maybe there's a couple other ones on the channel as well. But just for that genre and what he was going for, absolutely perfect, man. And I look forward to hearing the actual studio version next week. And thank you again to our patron, Joel. I really appreciate you, my friend. No, let me say it right. Our alpha patron, Joel S. There we go. I appreciate you, my friend. As always, this is a wonderful album, and I can't wait to finish it up next week. Only 4 tracks on the acoustic side, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Divide it. Man, that's hard. I will go with 115th Dream as my favorite of the 3, but I really, really enjoyed all 3. I really did. That super bluesed up factor in the first 2 was just fantastic. And he really knows when to turn it on, you know? Like the lyrics are its own thing. It sounded like his dream was like discovering America or something like that, because there was like the Mayflower and then Christopher Columbus and then all this other stuff going on. And, you know, he's always in a way singing about Americana, I feel like, in one way or another, or that's just me projecting it onto it. I don't know, but I don't know. That's what I think it is. He was discovering America. That's my final answer. We'll see. I think that's it. Thank you for watching, guys. And I linked the other Bob Dylan stuff in the beginning of the video. It's also in the description if you want to go watch that other stuff. I have a whole playlist full of Bob Dylan stuff, and yeah, go watch it if you want. Pretty cool, if I say so myself. Patreon right there. Oh, that's a picture of it. There is a link in the description. Join the $15 tier, or up you get 1 free request a month. That's the best way to support the channel, seriously, because the music rights holders are really screwing me right now, like more than they ever have. And I'm hardly getting views to begin with because I have a copyright strike. So I am shadow banned right now, apparently. And I've been getting emails from people saying that my videos aren't even playing all the way through. Like they're just freezing. And no matter what they do, it just glitches out. So what's up, YouTube? I don't get it. I'm on your side. I always back you guys up. So back me up, man. Like, what the fuck? Me, I should cut that. Nah, who cares? See you later.